Hello and welcome to the AFL Auto Blends 3D Car Creations channel. This is the next episode or part of my the Jowett Jupiter build. This is number 5, so it's all about sculpting and moving vertices around, trying to get the shape more unlike a block, if that makes sense. So the first things to look at is the extremities of the side. So this line here that runs across is the outside of the car. So this line here will represent that line. Okay. Now to get the topology and the shape right, if we look at it in top view, okay, so we'll need a line here so we can capture the top of the fenders. Okay, we're fine here in the center because we've got the top of the hood, the bonnet. Okay, and likewise at the back. So we need a line here, and also suggest that we need a line in the center of the headlights. So we'll put those in first. So I'm just looking at how the shapes work with each other. Okay, so we'll minimize this. So minimize that. Okay. Before I start, this course will cover some tips that I've already put up on my channel for using Blender. I use quite a lot of shortcuts, so hopefully they will become familiar to you. I also use loop cuts a lot, so we'll be looking at the spacing and the flattening on loop tools. I also use the snapping tool quite a bit, so we'll be looking at active element. So if you see the drop down menu here, so you've got bounding box centers, which we use for general modeling. Active element when you're scaling towards a point, so we'll be using that quite a bit. We'll also be using edge slide a lot. GG command, edge slide. So when you move a vertex along a path, so between here and here, it moves along the curvature rather than goes on either axis or any axis. So that's quite a useful tool to have. We'll be using the shrink wrap add-on. We'll be using quite a few bits and pieces actually that will suddenly appear, and hopefully that will help your modeling. I also use, instead of moving the blueprints around, so if I'm modeling the front, move the blueprint to here so I can't see the back, I generally look at it from a view. And I'll say if I'm modeling the front, I'll simply just highlight using the B key and ranging it. I'll select these, okay, and hide them. So press H to hide them. So when I'm looking at the front, I'm only looking at literally the front part, okay. But you can use this also if you've got just a line. So say we were trying to get the top line. So I've unhid that. So there. So I've highlighted that line. That's the line I want to get dead on. So what I do is you press Control and I, which is inverse the selection. Then I hide it, and then if I press the A key, it shows you what, I mean, you can you can hide the others as well. So if you go hide the bottom as well, if it's selected the bottom, so you just go here, range it again, hide it again, and then you just maneuver these vertices where you want them. Simply press Alt and H, which brings back all the other vertices. Okay, and you can do that for any lines. If you wanted to just model a specific part and get that right, the curvature, like the bonnets are normally, or hood, are fairly curvy, and the curves extend in all sorts of different ways. So you could quite simply just pick out the bonnet. If you've actually modelled it to separate the bonnet, you could just highlight the bonnet and move those vertices around until you're happy with the overall curvature, without having all the other vertices or the rest of the model there confusing your view. Nothing worse than looking from the back and seeing loads of vertices at the front. You pick one and you move it around, then realise it's one at the front and this and that and the other. So I like to use the hide command quite a bit. Another one I like to use is if you've got a curve, if that was more curvaceous, say on the front, so say it was, in this instance, say that was, we'll just put it down a bit here so you'll see what I'm getting at. So if I want to extend that across, but keeping the same sort of curvature, you use the GG command, so the edge slide command. So type GG and you move it back slightly, just slightly, then press the C, which then constrains the angle, and you can move it out on that angle. Very, very, very useful tool. But all of these I'll be going through in greater detail when we actually need them in the model. Anyway, without further ado, let's get started. So let's just track where I am. So this outside line is going to be the outside of the car, so it's going to be this. Okay, so we need another edge loop here. Just move it across roughly, so that's going to form the top of the fender. Okay, then we're going to put another one here, which is going to go straight in the middle of the headlights, which it looks like it's done anyway. Okay, so there's those two. On the side view, I'm not going to get too bothered about that yet till I've got the shape, but we're going to need some, obviously, at some point in time. We're definitely going to need one there for the crease there. If you've noticed on the body, it's fairly straight from here to here, and if there's a curve, it's a very slight curve, so we can easily model that. The trick is going to be here, where you've got a line, then you've got a bit of a curve which goes back to the body. Anyway, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. So we're looking at the outside now. So we'll get this line. Go to 3, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Control I, and I'm going to hide the rest of the rest of the vertices. So I'm going to bring it down. So I'm going to aim at roughly the middle of the middle here. So I'm going to go all the way through the middle. Okay, so let's go through the middle. So go down again, through the middle, and again to the middle, and again to the middle. Just move all these down one at a time until you're happy. This one, I'm going to not go to that belt line yet. I'm going to just imagine the line running through. So here, this one's going to be in the middle of this line here, because the middle is generally the high point, or the furthest point on the car. That's what I'm aiming at anyway. If we have to fine tune it later, we can. And don't forget, this one I'm doing is my model. The one you're doing, if you follow along, it will be your model. So we might view the car in a slightly different way. So it's always advisable for you to go your way, using anything that you can learn from myself or other people. Just follow your own way, and your car might look slightly different to mine. It probably might look better, but at the end of the day, it'll be your model. Anyway, so we've moved those vertices. So now press Alt and H and bring back the other vertices, and let's see what it's done. So okay, so we've got that line in. That's a really good start. That's a good start. So we've got a bit of shape there. Now go to the front view. Press Z and wireframe. Now this line, let's see where we are. So it's the inner line, so I'll just turn this on to make sure I pick the right ones. So here we go, pick those. I'm not interested in anything on the bottom, so I'll press Z, wireframe, 3 to get to the side view, and then just range, middle click on the mouse and take those out. And likewise here, because I didn't quite get that. I'll go here and take those out. So just have a cursory look to see if you haven't selected anything you shouldn't. Okay, so from the front view, so we're bringing this down. Okay, so there we are. We've come down to a look at 3, see what we've done with that. That's fine, so just move that up. Remember, we're trying to trace now the line of the top of the fenders. So just press these up, click and down, click and down. Now once again I'm following this line, so follow that line down. I follow the line. Just take it at your pace and just make sure you're happy really with what you've done. So the next bit will be just tracing a line around the top of the fenders. We're going to need another edge loop here sometime, so I might as well put that in now. So Control R, put a line in. So immediately take that one down. If you want to go back to previous commands, just press Control and Z, the Z key. That will take you back one stage at a time. Okay, so B, range, select those and just bring them down. Brilliant. Okay, now this one, move that up to there, and move this one up slightly. Look at the curvature and see where it sets you. I'll put another one here, another loop cut there. So again, we'll move this one up. Let's say some areas you need more loop cuts than you think. I'm just going to move those up a wee bit. Just a wee bit there, B. So take that up. Okay, so carrying along, I always tend to work from right to left. But once we've got the rough shape, I will probably start working on the rear first. And then the front afterwards. Once you've got the back mapped out, it's fairly easy then to get the flow. So we go. I need another edge loop here. So I'm going to put another one here. Okay. So B command, because we've got two vertices there. Lift that up. That one seems fine. Move that one down slightly. And we need another loop cut here. Now here's a thing already. We've got a line there. I'd prefer it at this stage to have a straight line. So if we use the scale, so press S, and we want to scale it. We want it on the same level on the y-axis. Okay, so press S, Y, 0, and it straightens it up. Okay. So now this one looks like it needs to go up here. What's that one doing? Right, okay. So that one needs to go. So I'm going to go back a step here. So Control and Z. And I'm going to pick both of those up with the B range tool. Okay, and pick this up. And I think likewise with this one. No, that's right. I've got another one selected there. So click on this, move it up. Move that one down. There we go. That's better. So I'll move this one up slightly. Trying to get the curvature right. And move these back. Let's go back again. Pick all these up, so range. Just move it back. Okay, these now need going up slightly. This one here. And I'd suggest we move this up to follow the curvature. Okay, so that's a good start. We're going to have another line here at some point, which will then trace out the, or we could trace out the line of the fender so we can cut out the wheels. But I'm not too worried about that at this stage. Let's just have a cursory look, see where we are. Let's give it solid. So you can see already that we're getting some sort of shape. shape to the car. The next line will be this line. Which is the headlight. So if I press, I want a reference point, so what I'm going to do is select this. So I'm going to select this one, okay, which isn't that. Right, let's make it solid. That's we selecting the wrong ones. Right, so what I want to do basically is get the positioning right from there to there. So if you press Shift and Control, that sets the range. Okay, so you so you select all of them. Another way, if you want to select that one and that one, is press Select there, and if that's your last one, press Control and choose that one. If you want to add that one to it, you press Shift and press left mouse button on your key. Okay, so press that. We don't want that. Okay, so I'm going to select from here. From here to here, so I'm pressing the Shift key and holding down the Control key, left on the mouse, left mouse button, and there we are. Press Control and I, and then hide the rest of it. Okay, so now we've got, so we look at it in all different views. Not sure what we're going to do yet. I'll suggest we pick the whole lot up, just move it down slightly, just get a bit of curvature there. Have a look on here, see where we are. And we want that, we want a natural progression coming down, so we want that. But we're nowhere near. Right, so this has got to come down to about here. This one's got to come across and up to there. That one's coming down. And now we're in the land of imagine. So we're imagining now what the line is. So for now, just bring it down. Bring it down slightly all the way down and see where we are. So if you look from the front view, that's not too bad, albeit that's should be higher there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to scale, because we know the front. We know the front is roughly where we want it. So press Control here, like so. We're going to use the active element. So the active element, choose active element here. So it's on your snapping tool, active element, right? And go down here. So on the snapping tool, active element, okay, now we want to scale from that point, from this point, so all we do is press the Shift key and make sure that, because we're scaling away from that, we don't want that to move, but we want this scaled up. So go to keypad 1 to look where we are, then we press S and we want to scale in the Z axis, on the Z axis, so we press S, Z, and then we use this, as you can see, look, it's bringing it up incrementally. Have I got all of them there? Let's just check. Let's press Alt and H to make sure that we're okay there. Right, okay. Z, wireframe. Okay, so we're going from here to here. So in effect we're scaling upwards from on the front view, and on the side view we're scaling on the y-axis. So we'll do that first. We'll scale from on the y-axis. So S, Y, bring it across. If you want it to go, your selection to go slower, not so jerky, press and hold the Shift key until you're somewhere there. Okay, so that's that. Go to the front view, then S and Z. So up, 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 up. And put it roughly there for now. So press the Z key, solid, and we'll see where we are. So we're not doing too bad. So the shape's beginning to emerge now of the car. I mean, it still looks like a bit of a bar of soap, but so if we look now on the Z-axis, so that's where we are. I'll leave those vertices there because we've still got the extremes there, but these I'm going to move in. So B, select, move these all the way back to here, deselect everything, B, select here, and go all the way. Remember, I'm using this, so we'll take these in, B, bring it across, press the Shift key for finer selection. That's roughly okay, so B, and deselect, just have a look, move in again, oops, again, Control Z, so B, just select this, move it in slightly, so it's just the top one. Okay, so Z, let's have a look where we are. Yeah, that's okay, that's coming in. It's coming in about right now. And then we want to grab this, so deselect everything, B, grab this and bring it in even more. There's one we missed, okay, so grab that one, B, highlight it, bring it in. And lastly, this one's a bit of a problem sitting out there, so just pull it in. Slightly. Okay. We're starting to get there a bit. We'll shape this in the next episode, I think. But for now, we need to go to object mode. Let's go to object mode. We've got the mirror modifier on, so let's now add in a Subsurf modifier. So subdivision surface modifier here on this row. Click that in. Now, levels of viewport for the main body we want 2, and render level of about 3. This is going to be the guide mesh. Now the guide mesh, the viewport needs to be 2 levels above your main mesh, but I don't want to do that yet because it might slow things up a little bit. So, and the reason is that when you're shrink wrapping vertices to another surface, the surface that you're shrinking to needs to have more vertices for obvious reasons. So it's always good practice to, on your guide meshes, to put your viewport level at 4, keep your render level at 3. Go from there. So if we hide the blueprint, so this little tick box here will hide the blueprints. We can now see, so go to the object menu here, object menu, and choose shade smooth. So there we are, that's the shape of our car at the moment. So if we put the blueprints back in, so keypad 1, we can see where we are at any given time. So we get in there, the shape's beginning to show up, which is good. Okay, so with that in mind, the last thing I want to do is go to face select mode, go into solid mode, and I don't really need I don't really want all these yet, so go into edit mode and choose all these faces. Where are we? Why is it not choosing it? Right, here we go. So choose that one. So let's take to hide the modifiers, all you do is click this little TV screen, and also do it for the mirror. Then we know where we're working. So go there, go to wireframe, hide the blueprints. Then we can see what we need to delete. Well, we don't want to delete that, do we? So we want to delete that. And I'd say to here, so press shift, control, highlight those, press the X key and get rid of the faces. So now if you put the Z back on the solid, so what we've got is, we've got a bit of a selection at the back there. Turn on the Subsurf and the mirror, and we've basically cut out there. In the next episode we'll be cutting out the cockpit area too, although it's very difficult to see it from here. But anyway, that's I think if we just went from here to here, for instance, probably do that now. So go there and there, so shift and control and hide, and then press X and get rid of the faces. So there we are, so Z, solid, there we go, that's the start of our car. So thanks everybody for watching. There'll be another part to this series soon. I think it's safe to say that the sculpting of the body takes quite a bit of time. Thank you also to my friend Rod Halligan, who's on YouTube. You should all have a look at his cars, are fantastic. he's been my inspiration in doing this car. So I'd like to say thank you to him. But have a look at his videos. He's got some fantastic cars he's doing. I'm modelling the same vein as him, fairly similar, but with keyboard shortcuts added and a few different ways. So watch both of us. I'd strongly recommend that. But he maintains that the sculpting should take about four parts to do, 4 modelling parts, sometimes 6. So I anticipate there's going to be probably at least 5 or 6 more parts to model in the car to get the actual guide mesh correct. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you all soon.